Hello, today I am covering Model ZX. Overall, my favorite model in the Mega Man ZX series. Same things as before, I'm covering the basics and the more in-depth stuff. Here's the games I'm covering, so let's get into it. Model ZX is based on Zero from the Mega Man Zero series. I would love to cover this series eventually, so that's all I'll be saying on that. And as the model name suggests, it's a combination of X and Zero's respective models. You get Model ZX after defeating Gyro in Mega Man ZX, and Ale or Vent in ZX Advent, with Gray or Ash respectively. Model ZX has two weapons, the Buster and the ZX Saber. The Buster has one attack with 3 different variants: a normal shot, a semi-charged shot, and a fully charged shot. The Saber has a lot more stuff. Starting off is the Triple Slash. This move can be cancelled on the first or second slash by only pressing the Saber button once or twice. Then there's a Walking Slash, a Dash Slash, an Aerial Slash, which if you hold down while doing this move, you use the Skull Bash, which will keep you in an active hitbox as long as you're in the air. A Rolling Slash, which murders everything that dares to even exist in its presence, and is absolutely insane for something I'll cover later. To use this move, you either mash the Saber button after using the Aerial Slash, or holding up while mashing the button, skipping the Aerial Slash entirely. And you have a Charged Saber, which has a pretty big hitbox. In ZX Advent, you gain 2 new moves, one for each playable character, and the Biometal Gauge, which prevents you from using charged moves if you have no Biometal Gauge. This removes spamming charged moves, but if you know how to use this model even remotely correctly, this problem is non-existent. As Gray, you get access to Fission. You can use this move by holding down and pressing Y. This move can only be used in the air. This move is a downward stab that kicks up 2 boulders when it hits the ground. The stab itself is a very risky move to use, as the hitbox needs to be very, very close to an enemy or boss. The rocks have more range though, but they do start at a higher angle, which can miss enemies. This move can be spammed if you're quick enough, which can murder most enemies and mini-bosses you use it against. As Ash, you get access to Rising Fane. This move is performed by pressing Y and up at the same time, or holding up and pressing Y. This can only be used on the ground. Model ZX will rise up into the air, and a wave covers where you were on the ground. Personally, I think it's the better move out of the two, but Fission isn't terrible by any means. Fission is based on the Sharp Edge, or Rakuretsu from Zero 2, or more accurately, the Sky Chaser, or Subangeki from Zero 4, and the Rising Fane is based on the Ten Shojin from Zero 2. That was a lot. Let's hope the complexities aren't as long. Like Model X, you can only have 3 shots on screen at a time. This does include charge shots as well. You are able to do reversals with some moves. If you don't know what reversals are, it's basically using a saber, or a melee weapon equivalent, performing the attack, and very quickly going left and right on the D-pad or joystick. Reversals have tight timing, but they should be muscle memory when you use them enough. Reversals are useful for getting more damage on things that don't have invincibility frames, like enemies with high HP and mini-bosses. You can do this with models ZX, H, L, F, and LX. The moves you can do this with Model ZX include the Walking Slash, even though it's very tedious to do, the Aerial Slash, Rolling Slash, though it already covers what's behind it and isn't as important for a reason I'll cover later, and the Charge Slash, which benefits the most from this due to its already pretty high damage. With the complexities done, let's move on to a new section for this series, the stages. For stages, Model ZX is generally good. It can very easily defeat enemies that may block your way, but since it has no unique movement options, like a lot of other models, you may struggle on a stage every now and then. Like how in the scrapyard, you can't just slow down time or air dash over the gap when the falling parts are gone. You have to time it really well instead. Or how in areas like Area F and J make you want to use Model F or L, or how Area L makes you want to use Model H or P if you have them. This doesn't make the model bad at stages. Its tools are still very good for the stages, just it's not your top pick in any situation whatsoever. In Avid, this problem doesn't exactly get better, as many situations require you to transform into different models in pseudoroids, but it's still not terrible by any means. With the stages traversed, I'm gonna go to the enemies and bosses. This part's gonna be crazy. Against enemies, Model ZX can kill everything pretty fast, and reversals deal with the tankier ones. Against mini-bosses, charge slash reversals do a lot to their HP bars, and make them go a lot quicker. Rolling slash helps with this as well. The consistent high damage is why it's so good against mini-bosses. And Advent, while Fission and Rising Fane are situational, when they are good, they are really good. However, it's not the best, by any stretch of the imagination. For bosses, well, get ready. Model ZX is good against every boss. Being a model of the null element definitely helps, as it does the same damage against everything. Because this model has so many moves, I'm gonna be talking about the combos this model can do. Charged Buster Shot in the Charge Slash is high damage, is very fast, and is guaranteed to knock back bosses that can take knockback. It can also provide a safe retreat, as after the slash hits, you can move in the other direction while the animation is going on. Charged Buster Shot in the Rolling Slash can provide lots of damage, especially if the boss is either really big or in a knockback state. You can also add an Aerial Slash for a little extra damage. Walking Slash and Triple Slash does a lot of damage, albeit it requires good positioning and may not be possible against every boss. Combine this with the last combo, almost an entire health bar, gone just like that. In ZX Advent, you can combo Triple Slash into Rising Fane or Fission, but because the end lag from Triple Slash is so long, you usually won't be able to do that. You can combo both after Rolling Slash though, with Rising Fane being easier to do this with. Speaking of Rolling Slash, quick quiz. How many times can the Rolling Slash hit a boss? Pause if you want to answer. If you guessed 127, you are correct. This is absolutely wild because if all hits of Rolling Slash were to connect, it could single-handedly end a free health bar boss. Overall, Model ZX is excellent with bosses, with having very few to no bosses it struggles against, the quick and high damage, charge reversals against Queen Bee and Legantor, and just how aggressive you can be, leads to this model being very, very good with bosses. When replaying Mega Man ZX, and going for the ZX Advent bosses again, my opinion on Model ZX is basically the same as it was a while ago. It's really good, being close to average in ZX, and the best in Advent in terms of damage output. I call it stale because it stays the same for the most part between both games, but consistent for the same reason, because it's really good in both games. I should have a poll up by the time this video is over, or when it's uploaded. You get to decide what my next model video is. The poll will last for 2 weeks after this video is out, and the order after the most voted one will be decided by me at a later time. See you guys soon. The Kirby video should be coming out within the next month, or January of 2024.